Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the National Racing Network's live coverage of the TNT Rock Block. This one's going to be a ton of fun. Welcome to the Charlotte Death Roval. This race, one of the ones we've been looking forward to, that's for sure. This race has a lot of strategy possibilities that will come into play, and we will tell you all about them here in just a moment. As always, my name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It's a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here. Wrapping up our Tuesday night show with this 2.22 mile Roval layout at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. No surprises here as we take a look at the top of the speed charts. Daniel Smith going to be your quickest at a 108.96. Average speed of 115.893 miles per hour. We'll pick up with Nagisa Ashikawa as he makes his way down the backstretch into one of our favorite parts of this racetrack. It's called the Death Roval for a reason. You hit that curb at the exit of the backstretch chicane, and you're either going to do it just right or absolutely launch yourself into orbit. Same can be said for the curbs on that front stretch chicane as well. Maybe not as violent as you hit the ones on the backstretch. This first section of the racetrack, very narrow, very tight. A lot of passing opportunities exist here, though. And there is so much speed on this racetrack that, quite frankly, there's going to be a lot of passing throughout the field here. 16 cars scheduled to make up the starting grid here this evening. Take a look at our race results from 1 week ago. Wes Shire getting the win at the Milwaukee Mile over Simon Fell and James Curtis to make up the podium. Shire was your pole sitter and led the most laps. Fastest lap went to Simon Fell. James Curtis with the most positions gained on the night. And as we take a look at the point standings here, Wes Shire, after 8 rounds, not quite as big as his lead in the Free V Series, but it's pretty darn big. 202 markers, 164 for Kevin Smalley, jumping ahead of Daniel Smith. James Watson, Simon Fell, your top 5 here in points. I guess mathematically none of these drivers are out of contention. However, it is going to be very tough to make up ground over the last 4 races of the season as we head in to tonight's action. Practice just finishing up here for the TNT Shock Series. Only one driver with multiple wins this season, and that is Daniel Smith. We'll pick him up as he was fastest in practice and quite frankly still has a very real shot at winning this championship with only 5 starts under his belt. But in those 5 starts, 3 wins, obviously 3 top 5s and 4 top 10 finishes. A lot of Westshire's lead predicated on the bonus points though. 13 bonus points so far this season for Westshire. We'll get you the best lap times up here on the screen. And this race, unlike the Bolt Series, the Shock Series is measured as a timed series. So this race will be 45 minutes. We'll tell you about the pitch strategies and all here in just a minute. But first, take a look at the weather conditions presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 70-degree ambient temperature. Wind's going to be out of the south at 11 miles an hour. Clear skies and a 71-degree track temp. So fairly cool out here in what looks to be a morning race. This race set to run basically at dawn, at least is what it looks like here. Where things are going to get very interesting is in the pitch strategy. We're hearing anywhere from 17 to 19 laps is what these drivers are going to be able to do on a tank of fuel. The anticipated number of race laps is anywhere from 38 to 40. If it's a 38-lap race and you can make it 19 laps, you could do this race on one stop. If you push full throttle the entire way, though, there is not a prayer of making that 19-lap number. So the question becomes, can you stay close enough to make the one-stop strategy worth it? It's going to be interesting to watch for sure as Daniel Smith goes top of the charts at 109.380. 110.651 for Jason Owens. 110.662 for Westshire. That lap time for Daniel Smith measured at 115.192 miles per hour for the average. Gets it way up against the outside retaining wall as he gets back out onto the oval. Simon Fell looks to be putting a pretty decent lap together as well here. J.W. Miller jumps up second quick, 110.477. Excuse me. (113.399 miles an hour). See what Daniel Smith does here on lap number 2. New quick time, 68.886. 116.018 miles per hour. Daniel Smith hauling the mail, and the gap now 1.16 seconds to Jason Owens, who is second quick. James Curtis and Westshire are going to round out your top 5 so far. Nagisa Ashikawa, Bill Walker, the only drivers that have put a lap in the board. Now Kevin Smalley gets a lap in at 113.738. Dave Sparks and Simon Fell both have completed laps, but they did not score. We'll see what they can do here on lap number 2 as we'll pick up with Jason Owens working his way through that chicane. Man, you see the left-hand side get way up off the ground. Nagisa Ashikawa going to jump up to second quick, 109.526 seconds. I guess 1 minute 9.526. You know what I'm talking about, people. Jason Owens goes purple sector 2. Great lap, 109.503. 114.988 miles per hour for Jason Owens. Peter Donchak, James Watson, both getting a lap in, but not scored. Those drivers obviously having some issues over the course of their laps. Kevin Smalley moves up to 7th quick on the speed charts. Christian Jasper moves up to the 8th position. Ben Carswell gets the lap on the board, puts him in 10th. J.W. Miller just coming past James Curtis for 4th overall here as we are just past the halfway point of qualifications. I'd say keep your eye on this 256 of Simon Fell. If he can get the lap hooked up, he has the potential to be very, very quick. Simon, a very good qualifier here in the series. Simon Fell holding on to the 6th position here in qualifications. Wes Shire actually the best driver in terms of average start position. He's all the way back in the 9th position right now. Shire with 8 starts, 2 poles, and an average start of 3.88. Simon Fell second on that list, no poles, an average start of 4th. Oh, Wes Shire absolutely tears the right-hand side of that race car off. Well, I guess not hard enough to undo the damage, but the lap will not count. He's going to have James Watson right on his rear end. Watson in the 39. Big time airborne. Good Lord. Oh, one car big time up against the outside wall. That was a hard hit after not sticking the landing out of the chicane. James Watson jumps up to 5th quick, 109.734. $114.607 seconds, the lap time there for James Watson, but still all Daniel Smith here at the front of the field. This lap for Daniel Smith will be slower. One of the things about the Charlotte Roval, pretty substantial elevation changes. You get a little bit of a feel for it from the cameras, but having been down to Charlotte since the reconfiguration, those are fairly large hills that they built in the infield of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Checkered flag is out on the qualification session. Drivers will have about a minute and a half with which to complete their laps. Simon Fell just coming across the start-finish line now to finish his run. Peter Donchak and J.W. Miller will be the last two cars to complete their qualifying runs. So we pick up J.W. Miller completing his qualification run, and that will be it for time trials. J.W. will keep the run going here. He's got about another 20 seconds, but even if he could get the lap completed, it will not score. Qualifying has concluded here for the TNT Shock Series. So Daniel Smith will be your pole award winner. We'll take a look here at the starting grid as they start to file all their cars in for this 45-minute race. 16 cars will make up the starting grid, and they will be led to the green by Daniel Smith. Nagisa Ashikawa will line up outside of row number 1, 0.6 of a second off the pace of Daniel Smith. Jason Owens, J.W. Miller on row number 2. James Watson, James Curtis on row 3. Simon Fell and Christian Jasper on row number 4, Wes Shire and Kevin Smalley on row number 5. Row 6 will have Peter Donchak and Alex Teeter. Row 7, Dave Sparks and Ben Carswell. Bill Walker and Rick Cleary will round out the 16-car field here tonight. Cleary not able to get a lap in qualifications. You'll notice the cars are lined up here on the front straightaway, right at the exit of the chicane leading to the start-finish line. That's going to play a big role in this race because that means it is a full pace lap for these drivers. Instead of having a shorter pace lap, maybe saving a little bit of fuel, you will have to take the grid from the front straightaway here because if you start from pit lane, that means you will not have burned that one lap of fuel. And what our understanding of it is, you're actually going to burn the full lap of fuel, just about a full lap of fuel here. Not much can be saved here on the pace lap as the field rolls off and heads down into turn number 1. Quick snap through turn 2 right as they come up to the crest of the hill. Going to run down towards turn number 3, the Bank of America Bridge there in the infield. At turn number 3, long sweeping double apex right-hand corner. In fact, we'll pull up the track map here because we'll have to see how that is officially scored. Yeah, turn 3 and 4 is actually a double apex. They're now working their way through turn number 5, back up the hill to the tightening turn 6, leads to a quick switchback into turn 7. Fantastic racing occurs through this part of the racetrack, but you better get it right, because as you come out into turn 8, it dumps you onto the banking. And now you're into the very high speed section of this race course, really only taken out by 2 chicanes. You run basically the rest of the oval. There's only about, I would say maybe 150 yards worth that separates turn 1 from turn 8, and that's the only part of the oval that doesn't get used. Turns 1 and 2 of the oval is turns 9 and 10. It leads on to the back straightaway. Crazy high speeds. And absolutely wild action will be seen through this chicane here this evening. I mean, you can see the drivers giving each other a wide berth on the pace laps. It is a very, very difficult chicane to navigate. Spits you right back out into turn 3 of the oval, which is turn number 13 of the Roval configuration. Turn 14 is turn 4 of the oval. Then you get down to the final chicane that they actually measure as 3 separate corners. Pace car will make the hard left-hand turn, and we are going to get ready to get the TNT Shock Series underway. And as always, race fans, start of this one's going to be all yours. Lap number 1 is in the books, and it belongs to Daniel Smith, holding a half-second lead over Nagisa Ashikawa. 0.8 of a second back behind Ashikawa is J.W. Miller. Seeing an issue for Alex Teeter and Peter Donchak. See what happened here. West Shire got a little bit loose. Oh, Teeter goes around. Donchak has absolutely nowhere to go. Big contact there. Front left is junked for Alex Teeter. Same may be true for the left rear of Peter Donchak. Working lap number 2, you can see the top 3 have really started to distance themselves out. In fact, we'll show you the intervals, or the gaps here. There is nobody close to each other on the racetrack right now. Closest fight gonna be Nagisa Ashikawa. Oh, well, James Curtis, James Watson getting close. Big move by Watson on Jason Owens. Oh, they make contact. Watson's into the wall. Man, early for that type of aggressive driving. Curtis and Owens gonna go side by side into one. Jason Owens has to feel like a pinball at this point. That battle's going to continue. Watson comes back around Owens. Through the 5-6 complex, and Jason Owens going to fall back to 6. He's down 3 from where he started the race here this evening. Nagisa Ashikawa holding on to the rear wing of Daniel Smith. J.W. Miller not going anywhere either. But the game of grab ass on the front straightaway cost Curtis, Watson, and Owens about 5.5 seconds. Seeing our buddy 90210 checking in. Oh, hold on. We'll get to that one in a second here. James Curtis, James Watson having an incident on the racetrack. This was into the chicane. Watson tries the big dive up the inside. Gets it around. Oh, and Curtis absolutely spears him. Little shot there right at the end from Watson again, just for good measure. But James Watson, James Curtis, going to fall back through the order. That promotes Jason Owens up to 4th. Wes Shire to 5th. Simon Fell to 6th. James Watson looks like, yeah, he had another incident. And he had to take the tow. Let's see what happened here to Watson trying to get through turn 1. Yeah, that car just does not want to turn. He gets it up to the outside wall, and unfortunately that'll probably be the end of the race for James Watson. Rick Cleary did not take the green flag here tonight. He will finish in 16th. Alex Teeter, 15th. James Watson in the 14th position. Pick up Simon Fell, Christian Jasper, and Kevin Smalley. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th on the racetrack. Oh, and Simon goes around. Trouble for Simon Fell. Good Lord, and nobody wants to run this race cleanly. Through turn number 2. Oh, man, he got a big shot from Christian Jasper. Fell goes around, gets up into the outside retaining wall. James Curtis entering the pit area here. He does get the lap completed. We'll take a look here at the car of Christian Jasper. See if we can see any damage on the front end of that machine. Tires look maybe not pointed the right direction here. We'll see. Oh my goodness. Fully airborne. What a save, Christian. This is absolutely insane. 90210 checking in here, by the way. Getting back to this comment saying, so instead of the turtles and the yellow curbs offline, why doesn't NASCAR just add a Super Trucks ramp? If you watch back the Free V race from earlier tonight, you'll get to see some of that action. That race was a lot of fun. Good race out of the Bolt Series as well. 3 cars battling for the finish to the end. This one in the Shock Series, this is turning into one that nobody wants to be up front in. Dave Sparks having an issue as well. Take a look and see what happened to Dave here as he works through turn number 6. Overcooks it a little bit, gets it off the racetrack, loops it around. No harm, no foul there. Get the car pointed the right direction, and away we go. Kevin Smalley, Christian Jasper back to dueling here. Smalley comes around as they come through the chicane. Christian Jasper is an absolute animal attacking those turtles. Seven and a half minutes into this one. Simon Fell leaving the pit area after a 42-second stop for repairs. Bill Walker having to make a pit stop for repairs. He was stopped for 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Alex Teeter stopped for 4 minutes and 16 seconds for repairs. But he will come around James Watson here in about a lap and a half, as Watson still stationary on pit road. See if we can't get a word in here with James. James, working on the car on pit road here. Tell us what happened out there with Jason and James there.
Yeah, the Jason one was really weird. I don't really know what happened with that one. The Curtis one, I just came in a little too hot and locked the rears. Thankfully, it didn't screw up Curtis's car that much. It just needed a wing change. But yeah, I'm glad that I was the one who got the worst last one. Yeah, that was on me.
Ultimately, now it's a game of, are you going to be able to get the car fixed, and how much time are you looking at in repairs here?
I've got like another 3 minutes worth, so this race is pretty much done. Just going to try to get what I can.
All right, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way here. Not the way James Curtis wanted to have that one. Going back to the discussion of Rovals here, this track is really tricky. In my opinion, Rovals, 1.5 mile Rovals, are a little too tight and aren't real road courses. They're this weird hybrid. Doesn't feel like an oval, doesn't feel like a road or street course. You know what? I kind of have to disagree with that, especially about the Charlotte Roval here. This has every hallmark of a traditional road course. Multiple styles of corners, long straightaways, heavy braking zones, elevation changes, kind of everything you could want in a road course in there. It might be a little bit narrow, but I tell you what, places like Barber Motorsports Park, Laguna Seca, Laguna is not wide enough for the cars that run on it right now. Barber was built for motorcycles. I don't know. I really think that this is... I don't know that it'll ever become the classic all-American road course. However, I think there is definitely a place for Rovals in the world of racing. Kevin Smalley working on Bill Walker's number 19 machine. Still about 1.6 seconds back of Wes Shire. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I do see a place for them. I just don't like them personally. Is the reply there? Yeah, I am very much with people that say I just can't get excited about the Rovals. I definitely understand that. This configuration, this is the older configuration that has the high curbs on it. Never in a million years would they run an open wheel car on that configuration. Now that they flatten the curbs out in a lot of places, I think this is a spot that could put on a pretty decent road course race. And quite frankly, we're seeing that now because as much as we'll go back to the intervals here, there's nothing there. There is not a battle for position on the racetrack. However, that doesn't take into account the possibility of pit stop strategy coming into play here. I don't think Daniel Smith, if he keeps running full throttle, I don't think he's going to be able to make this on one stop. As we just saw the side of the shot there, Ben Carswell going around. He's a much better rider than he is PM18 driver as he stuffs it into the wall at the exit of turn number 7. Ben's going to have to take the tow back into the pits. James Watson getting back on the racetrack after 7 minutes and 45 seconds worth of tow time. Seeing Christian Jasper on pit lane here at the 12-minute mark. I would think too early for a strategy call. Let's see how long the stop is for Christian Jasper. He hits his box. And he's down and away 11.58 seconds, the time of the stop. James Curtis also committing to a two-stop strategy. This is going to be interesting. Both Jasper and Curtis now are going to have to make one more stop. But if everybody's on a two-stop strategy, they're going to be able to run to the end. They're basically taking a swing at the big-time undercut. Curtis having a look to the outside through the chicane. Oh, that's ballsy. Absolutely fantastic show from Christian Jasper and James Curtis right now. Curtis thought about having the big dive. Curtis going to get around Jasper, and race leader Daniel Smith is right there as well, trying to put these two a lap down. Now again, they're on an alternate strategy, so going a lap down is not necessarily the worst thing, but you want to try to stay ahead of the race leader if at all possible. Jasper heeds the blue flag though, and that is one thing iRacing will automatically penalize you for, a blue flag violation. Right now, Jasper needs Daniel Smith to get past James Curtis very, very quickly here. West Shire, Kevin Smalley getting set to do battle here. That the only gap within 1 second right now on the racetrack. Race leader Daniel Smith just putting lap number 14 on the board. J.W. Miller making his way down pit road. That will be at lap number 14. The stop for J.W. Miller. Again, not going to be able to go to the distance here. However, stopping at the 15-minute mark puts you on an even two-stop strategy. And Miller back out on the racetrack, well ahead of James Curtis and Christian Jasper. Those two cars far enough back in the field, it really didn't make a difference when they came in for the stops. Nagisa Ashikawa making his way down pit road. He hits his marks in box number 2. Stop for Miller at lap number 13. It'll be lap number 14 for Nagisa. Ashikawa going to come back out onto the racetrack in the 3rd position. So the undercut strategy in full effect now. Kevin Smalley, West Shire battling for position. Smalley falling a little bit back of Shire as they make their way back out onto the oval. Christian Jasper, James Curtis continuing their festivities into turn number 1. Trouble on the racetrack for Dave Sparks. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay here. See what happened down and towards turn number 1. Slides the back end out. Oh, barely kisses the inside wall with the front end of that machine. We'll see. May require a wing repair. James Curtis coming around Peter Donchak for the 8th position. Full send for Peter Donchak. Well done. So James Watson is back on the racetrack. Ben Carswell and Bill Walker are not, however. Walker and Carswell both completing 9 laps. Currently scored in the 14th and 15th positions. James Watson a handful of laps down, as is Alex Teeter. Simon Fell. I think Teal 72 checking in here. Full sends, boys. Yes. Oh, Jasper overshoots. Turn number 8, big time. Oh, man, it absolutely tore the right front corner off of that car. That one didn't even show up as an incident for us. Here comes race leader Daniel Smith down pit lane. He will make his first stop at lap number 17. And this is exactly what we kind of expected to see here. They would be able to go 17 laps before needing a pit stop. Jason Owens also on pit lane. He's going to stop here at lap number 17. Race leader Daniel Smith down and away. 11.25 seconds the time of the stop. But here's Nagisa Ashikawa. A gap that was seconds long, now down to 6/10. So great hot lapping there from Nagisa Ashikawa. Puts him right back in contention here. Only 2 cars in the top 5 have not stopped yet. That's Wes Shire and Kevin Smalley. This is where things get interesting. Did Shire and Smalley save enough fuel? They're about 6 seconds back of where the race leaders are right now. You got to get to 22 and a half minutes here if you're going to make the full 45. In fact, we'll say 23, only because you have to be able to finish that white flag lap depending on when that comes. Wes Shire on pit lane. There's the answer. So Wes Shire not able to make it in. Kevin Smalley may be able to make it, though. So Wes Shire stops at lap number 18. I would think Kevin Smalley's going to have to stop here at lap number 19. J.W. Miller coming past Smalley. When does Kevin Smalley come into the pits? Oh, trouble for Wes Shire. Kevin Smalley going to come in this time. See what happened to Wes Shire. Man, same kind of deal. Just loops the car around at turn number 6. He's able to get the car going again. Here comes Kevin Smalley down the pit lane at lap number 19. And 23 minutes on the clock. How far back will Kevin Smalley be at the conclusion of his pit stop? This has the potential to be very, very close. Smalley making his way out of the pit lane. The gap right now, 35 seconds. The pit lane delta is about 39 seconds. Kevin Smalley, if he can save the fuel, could be in a position to win this race on one stop. Let's run through at least your lead lap cars here. Daniel Smith has led from the drop of the green flag. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. No surprise. After not having a good week last week at the Milwaukee Mile. Daniel Smith doing his usual yeoman's work at the front of the field. Just back behind him, Nagisa Ashikawa, already a podium finisher here tonight in the TNT Bolt Series. Ashikawa running about 1.6 seconds back. And Ashikawa stopping at lap number 14. That's going to put him anywhere from 30 to 32, we would think. Although, if he could only get 14 laps, that actually would theoretically make this almost a 3-stop race for Nagisa Ashikawa. Third place runner currently is J.W. Miller. Miller running in the third position. He took his stop at lap number 13. Took it right at the 15-minute mark, though. So we would expect to see him back down pit lane in another 5 minutes or so, maybe 6 minutes, for his final stop of the race. Jason Owens runs in the fourth position, currently 20 seconds back of your race leader. Owens coming in at lap number 17. Seeing Christian Jasper checking in on YouTube. Well, that sucks. Yes. Yes, it does. Christian saying, super fun track, but I just didn't have it tonight. This place is tough, man. It is really, really tough. Should be seeing James Curtis on the pit lane for what would be his final stop of the race. He's about 18 laps in here, and actually on pit lane this time is James Curtis. So Curtis going to make his final stop at lap number 22. Should put him out to between laps 38 and 40, so he should get to the end of this one. Car goes up on the jacks. It'll be 4 Cooper tires, full tank of racing fuel going into that one. Curtis down and away 11.47 seconds. So the final pit window is open. Now the question becomes, does Nagisa Ashikawa try the crazy undercut strategy? Simon Fell on pit lane as well. I would have to think somebody is going to try the big undercut here. That's the only way you're going to get around Daniel Smith if you're J.W. Miller, Jason Owens, Kevin Smalley. Very short pit stops, no tires. Simon down and away, 7.67 seconds. He gets back out on to the racetrack. Peter Donchak also on the pit lane, but this race has been all Daniel Smith right now. The question becomes, can they squeeze a couple extra laps out of these tanks of fuel? I don't know that they can. J.W. Miller on pit lane, making his final stop of the race. Lap number 25 is where Miller is going to make that final stop. He's down and away, 7.52 seconds. So I would think no tires there for J.W. Miller. Jason Owens about 17 seconds ahead. Nagisa Ashikawa about 35 seconds ahead. And here comes Nagisa Ashikawa down pit road. Lap number 26. Ashikawa makes his final stop, hits the marks cleanly, cars up on the jacks. Jason Owens comes around to claim second position, but Owens has not made his final stop yet. And the interesting thing here is Kevin Smalley is nowhere close to these drivers right now. He is a full 35 seconds back of Nagisa Ashikawa. Last lap time for race leader Daniel Smith, 109.55. Last lap time for Kevin Smalley, 111.31. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter if you can make it on one fewer stop. If you're going to give up 2 seconds a lap, it is not going to be there. Seeing Christian Jasper checking in here a minute or so ago. You ain't kidding. It's deceptively difficult, honestly. Finding that balance between downforce for the infield and chicane, or less so for the oval sections, I can't even imagine. Yes. This place is tough. There's no other way to say it. Race leader Daniel Smith on the pit lane. Nagisa Ashikawa just getting out onto the oval. Jason Owens gaining a ton of time here, but it may not be enough. Still 21, 20, 19, 18, 17 seconds back. Owens is going to have to try to stretch this on fuel as well. Here comes Jason Owens. Going to be tight with the race leader. But Daniel Smith gets out ahead, 4.7 seconds on the time of the stop. So no tires, fuel only. I'll tell you what, though, if Jason Owens sits right here in the draft, he may be able to eke this out on fuel. Can't let Smith get away. Owens only has about 7 1/3 seconds or so back to third place Nagisa Ashikawa. J.W. Miller 18 seconds back, but that gap is opening as Owens follows Daniel Smith around. Could be a 2 to 3 spot gain here for Jason Owens. We are down inside of 10 laps remaining. Jason Owens not totally losing ground here on Daniel Smith. The gap's hovering right about 1 second, but we are down to 9 minutes or so remaining. In fact, 8 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. I just don't see how Jason Owens can do it here. It would have to be an almost 21 lap stint. That is just a ton of fuel to have to save. Owens clawed a ton of time back there on Daniel Smith. Gap down to about 6/10 of a second here. This is a fight for the race lead. If Owens can stretch the fuel. If he can't, it's a 7 8/10 seconds back to Nagisa Ashikawa. Once again, the lead back over 1 second. This leader comes up on the lap car at Dave Sparks. Sparks running in the 9th position. Currently only 7 cars remain on the lead lap. Yeah, here's Christian Jasper checking in saying if he's got the Dixon reserve, he could do it. But it's about 1 liter per lap. So, right at 20 laps per stint. Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think it's looking real good for Jason Owens, but who knows? I mean, he's staying about 1.2 seconds back here. Kenneth checking in saying, hi, Chris. Can we get a caution to put Watson on the lead lap? Asking for a friend. I don't believe so, because he would need a lot of wave arounds. And Chad Irvine is not here to give them out. So what do you think here, fans? Let's do one more. We haven't done another one of these since the start of the race. How about we give you a chance here to crank it up? Down inside of 5 minutes remaining. In fact, 3.5 to go here for race leader Daniel Smith. He's got James Curtis just up ahead on the racetrack. Curtis running the 7th position. Final car on the lead lap. And Jason Owens has to come in for the pit stop. It's going to be a short one, but Nagisa Ashikawa has already come past. The question is he going to be able to get out ahead of J.W. Miller? And it looks like the answer to that will be no. Owens, the very short stop for fuel. I'll tell you what, this is actually going to be very, very tight here. Battle for the 3rd position. Here comes Owens. Here comes Miller. Jason Owens just ahead of J.W. Miller. Nice strategy call by Jason Owens. But he's going to have to work to hold off a hard-charging J.W. Miller. Daniel Smith putting the icing on the cake here. New fastest lap of the race, 1:09.06. Again, 1:09.06. J.W. Miller clearing Jason Owens off of turn number 2. We'll see if Owens is going to be able to fight back for a podium. Yeah, they will get airborne. Seeing the comment from Kenneth that Owens nearly got airborne. Yeah, they'll get all four wheels off the ground if you hit that turtle just right on the back straightaway. Seeing West Shire is on the pit lane as well. So we are down inside the final minute of this race. And what very well could be the last lap of the race for race leader Daniel Smith. In fact, I'm fairly certain this will be the final lap for Daniel Smith, because we're down to about 25 seconds left to go here. If he's smart, he's going to back off a little bit. No danger of losing the race lead. One car going around down onto the apron. Final 5 seconds going to tick off here, and this will be it. Out of the final chicane for the final time. Checkered flag is in the air. Daniel Smith gets the win. Here's Jason Owens looking to the outside of J.W. Miller in the chicane. What a pass! Oh, was that ballsy? Owens with the huge move into the final chicane. Is J.W. Miller going to return the favor? Nagisa Ashikawa has already finished second. Miller not going to be close enough. What a pass. Jason Owens comes home third. J.W. Miller will finish fourth. Kevin Smalley finishing up his race here. But there's your race winner, Daniel Smith. Absolutely spectacular drive tonight from Daniel Smith. He will come around to do the Victory Lane Donuts. We'll show you the race results from tonight's feature for the TNT Shock Series. Daniel Smith getting the win by 12 seconds over Nagisa Ashikawa. Jason Owens grabs the final podium spot by 3/10 over J.W. Miller. Kevin Smalley rounds out your top five. James Curtis, West Shire, Simon Fell, Dave Sparks, Peter Donchak complete the top 10. James Watson, Christian Jasper, Alex Teeter, Ben Carswell, Bill Walker, and Rick Cleary will round out the field here this evening. Sounds like we're still junking race cars up out here somewhere. So we'll get ready here for the Victory Lane interviews. And we'll start things off tonight with race winner Daniel Smith. I'll tell you what, man, this this race tonight, you hated Milwaukee 1 week ago. You were back home on the twisties here tonight, and you were pretty darn spectacular. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, this is definitely more my speed. It's a track I know very well. It's first track I ever visited, so it's very near to me. I just really like this place. I know it gets a lot of hate from certain people, but it's just really home to me.
This is one of those racetracks that it's technical, it's fast, it's kind of everything you could want in a road course. And ultimately, you were able to be so quick out front that the strategy games really couldn't come into play, even if the rest of the field wanted them to.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tight up at the very beginning. Just seeing the fuel numbers and everyone's knowing it's going to be so close. And I just felt like it was going to be just slightly too much to try to save, so I just had to go for it, and I just pushed and gave it everything.
Well, it was a great win tonight and did a lot for the point standings as well for you here. Really couldn't ask for more. Maybe not some of your stronger racetracks coming up here to close out the season. I haven't even looked at the schedule, by the way, but I would imagine it's probably oval heavy. What's the thought here? Are you going for the championship, or is this a kind of see where things fall?
It's just going to be seeing where things fall. We know what our strong suits are and what they aren't, and we've done all we can with these road courses, and it's just going to be try to bring home the best results possible for the ovals and see what happens from there.
Well, it's been a ton of fun to watch so far this season, so thank you very much for that. We appreciate the show you put on for us here, and who would you like to thank? And let's get all the sponsor plugs in as well.
I'd just like to thank my mom and dad for supporting me and making me like racing and taking me to this track when I was 7 years old and instilling my love for racing from a very young age. So, yeah, thanks to them for all of my love for racing.
You know what? It is such a family thing, and you absolutely nailed it on the head. Without the moms and dads of the world out here, this sport doesn't go very far. So thank you very much for that there, Daniel. And let's bring in our runner-up finisher tonight, Nagisa Ashikawa. And Nagisa, you had a very nice run here to come home in the second position. Ultimately, Daniel was kind of in another world, but your car looked pretty good out there as well.
Yeah, I kind of stuck with him for the first stint, and then I got a bit of an undercut and was close on the when he came out of the pits, and then after that he just kind of pulled away, and I think my setup was falling off a little bit. I started my lap times were dropping, so I just kind of settled for a second. I was worried. I thought Jason might make it to the end there at the end, and he was running really quick, but yeah, glad to bring it home in second.
Well, it was a great run for you tonight. Obviously, this is not one of the leagues that you're thinking about points in, but what do you think here as we head into the later part of the season, down to just a few races left to go? Iowa, Richmond, and Gateway to close out the season.
I'm definitely going to try and make at least a couple of them. I'm going to try and make Gateway and Iowa. I'm not sure on the scheduling and stuff, but just going to try and run for some good finishes. Like I said, not in the championship, so. But I love running with these guys, so try and make it as much as I can.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight. Who would you like to thank?
I don't know. All other drivers keeping it clean and making it fun. So yeah, thanks to them.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And let's bring in our third place finisher here tonight, Jason Owens. Man with the biggest set in Charlotte tonight. We'll replay the pass heading into the death chicane on the back straightaway for you there, brother. Tell us about that pass. That was full send into that chicane.
Well, it kind of wasn't, but before I get to that, I got to thank Daniel for giving me a tow for that 7, 8, 9 laps or whatever it was where I was just feasting in the danger zone. Because without it, I never would have been able to get there. But, man, like, I figured we had 2 to go when we came out, and I was trying to, like, run my fuel number and make sure I didn't put too much in and get there, you know? And I let JW go because he had such a good run on me the previous lap. And then I just got there and got to the outside of him and thought, well, I got a nose ahead. And then I went to back out, and he backed out a split second before. I'm like, that's it. I'm going for it. And just matted it. And it stuck. And damn, a road part. I don't think I can say that actually. Darn, a road course podium for an oval guy. I don't even know what to say, man. Like, that's probably a top 5 moment on iRacing for me right there. That was incredibly fun. Thanks for putting it on.
Well, I was going to say, at least on our side, you can say whatever the hell you want. That really doesn't matter to us. But this race was one that I was expecting a lot of carnage, a lot of insanity, and we really just didn't have that. We had a very clean race, and ultimately it came down. There was a little bit of strategy, but you had to have the pure pace to be able to even think about running the strategy call.
I mean, looking at times, like I had the third fastest car tonight, so kind of, I don't think I had as good a long run pace as JW did. I could hit my marks a lot better behind Daniel. I don't know what it is about that. I just have a hard time visualizing it. It's all this like red, white, and blue paint, like we're at Paul Ricard or something, and I get kind of lost out there sometimes. So other than that, like, man, just thank J-Dub for the good, clean racing at the end. And I don't know if you caught it, but I about had a massive pucker factor on the second lap and the third lap. When we were like 3 wide coming out of the front stretch chicane, and then when I had to take evasive maneuvers to avoid Sam and James, and it's like, man, and then I just kind of settled in, and that is a really long race at this place. It's not easy getting around that infield.
Yeah, well, actually, we had the cameras on you guys that whole time. I think I called you a pinball at one point. Was there any concern there that, car was going to be damaged, or did you feel like there wasn't that big of a contact?
No, it felt kind of a door-to-door or wheel-to-wheel. I wasn't worried about the contact. I probably wasn't aggressive enough on the start and got jumped back to fourth, and that was why I was back there. But, I mean, it was super early, so I just kind of backed out of it a little bit and, lived to fight another day, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, and with the exception of Daniel, who I don't think would have scored enough to take over the points lead, but you had a very, very good points night. Simon, James, Kevin, and Wes all finishing behind you. We really could have a 4 or 5 horse race here over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, with Daniel locking up all 4 road course wins, that's let me get my third grade math. That's 180 points right there out of just the road courses. So he's going to be in the championship fight. We've got some really fun tracks. We've got Iowa, Worldwide Tech, and I can't remember what the third remaining oval is.
I just said it. Iowa, Richmond, and Gateway.
Richmond. Yeah, so Iowa, Richmond, and Gateway, I'm totally going to jinx myself, but those are 3 of my favorite ovals in this car, and, maybe I can do another bump and run on West there in the final race, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, brother. Well, it was a fantastic race here tonight. Congratulations on a well-earned podium. Tell us a little bit about the how game day went this past weekend, and make sure we get all the other thank yous in as well.
Yeah, game day went great. Extra Life is over $10 million on the year for children's hospitals around the world. Riley Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis is over, I think it was $131,000 or $133,000 so far this year for our local children's hospital here. And thanks to everybody out there in this, maybe the 2 to 4 people, hi Mom, that ever watch my stream. We're over $2,200 or $2,300 on the year with directly through my page. So remember, Extra Life, Riley Children's Hospital, your local children's hospital. Get out there, help some kids, and just going to send it every time. So thanks again, Chris. Let's have we'll see you back here next week for Iowa. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you very much for that, Jason. We appreciate it. And oh, man, what a fun night of racing here. The Formula Vs may have been the show of the night. If you didn't watch that one, go back and watch at least the last, 5-10 minutes of the Formula V race. Good God, was that fantastic. Dominant win in that race for Patrick Byrne in the DeWeather Center entry. Also had, I'm drawing a blank here, Nagisa Ashikawa getting the win at the Sebring International Raceway for the Bolt Series. That race was, J.W. Miller getting the win for Team Watson Racing at Sebring. And in Daniel Smith picking up the win in the nightcap here at the Charlotte Roval. Man alive, what a fun night of racing. We're coming back tomorrow night, I believe, with a High Side Hustle. Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright. Coming up on Thursday, the Grid Rival Ezra IndyCar Series, followed by the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. A lot of racing coming up here this week. And then next week it goes kind of quiet. We'll explain why later in the week. But, yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on this week here at the National Racing Network that you do not want to miss. For everybody here at NRN, my name is Chris Graham. It has been a pleasure to have you hanging out with us this evening, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.